I'm Brent Hite.
And I'm Ariel Privitt.
And we're in Missouri, and today we're headed to an old cemetery to look at some ancient earthworks.
So stay tuned to Brent Hite Outdoors.
So today's mission was to survey an old earthwork that has almost been forgotten about. Ariel and I had driven 3.5 hours to meet the rest of the team at a predetermined rendezvous point. Heather Coons, an archaeologist which resides in the state of Missouri, arrived at the location early and was in the courthouse digging through old records and invited us to join her while the rest of the team was en route. So the rest of the team arrived, including Nick Daigle, who is a local, a historian and a researcher who called our attention to the site that we're going to discuss and observe. Also, we were joined by Mondo Gonzales, who is one of the hosts of Prophecy Watchers and is also an archaeologist. So we had all collected different bits of information from various sources, so we came together over a meal to share what we had discovered with each other. Nick's research about this site led him to information concerning other sites in the area, one of which is a cave, and if we can pinpoint its location, we may be able to explore that cave where some interesting artifacts were found. But that will be for another day and another video. For today, our target is an earthwork that we believe to be a hinge in an ancient ritual site. So after about a 15-minute ride, we arrived at the earthwork site, which is now part of an old cemetery. And after we arrived, Ariel prepared her camera gear to film our exploration of the site. So what we were looking for is the remnants of an earthen berm that was said to have once to stand 5 feet tall and have a moat that was around 2 feet deep on the outside. There's also a gap in the berm, and we're trying to locate the gap and determine what its function is.
Is that the divot right there?
Right here? I don't know. But if it is, you said there's a house right through here?
Yep, straight ahead.
That house would be at the point where that hump shows up on the LiDAR image. And it's common for houses to be built on high places. A lot of people have built houses on top of mountains unknowingly.
It makes sense. You want to stay out of the floodplain.
Right. So, I don't think we're going to be able to do a whole lot here, but things could, Mondo, when you say things are lining up to this could be a ritual site, and they're probably paying attention to the sun. Probably some kind of sun god worship going on here, maybe.
Well, when you have an opening like that specifically,
Yeah.
it's not accidental,
Right.
generally. I mean, hypothetically you could say, but it's unlikely.
Right. I have no idea.
I'm trying to see things.
But the last thing I read about it was in 1995. Let's see, I'm gonna pull out the tri-field meter. Let me get rid of my phone. Ariel, would you hold my phone? And I'm gonna turn this on and see if we get anything at all.
That's the benefit of LiDAR.
On the magnetic, I've got a constant 0.5 showing up. And nothing there. Nothing there to speak of. And RF. There's no RF here at all.
Okay, I need some interpretation.
But you can see that we've got a constant
Okay.
reading of some sort taking place now. This could be cell tower interference or anything. Generally, you don't pick up cell phone interference because this thing doesn't pick up. It's limited as to how far away it can pick up. Let me lay it down and see. So I'm not touching it at all. I'm standing away from it, and it's just sitting there metering. So it's possible that it could be some ground current coming up from the ground. That's kind of odd. I don't usually do that. So the purpose of this instrument is sometimes used in determining if there's paranormal activity in the area. I'm not a ghost hunter, but I realize that there's magnetic connection points on the earth, and sometimes ancient people knew this, and they felt that there was some kind of healing properties to that spot, and therefore they built ritualistic sites on those types of places. So using this instrument can determine if there's an abnormal amount of ground current emitting from the ground. I've got an app here on my phone that gives me my compass bearing, and you can see that we're at 37 degrees north latitude, Mondo.
37?
Yeah. So we're facing northwest. What degree is this exactly northwest, Mondo? Is it? Let's see. Okay, here's west.
The northwest should be.
And so northwest be what?
360, and I think should be like
330.
Yeah, the middle there.
Okay, I'm facing directly northwest. Hey guys, why don't you stand over in front of me right here, and I'm gonna get a picture of this. I've got the compass bearing on my screen. So the house, is this the only house, or is there another one out here?
Yeah, it's that one over there.
Okay, so the berm that we were looking at, let me pull up the LiDAR right here.
Yeah, the LiDAR is what showed the.
And they made light. They made light.
LiDAR is what showed.
All right, so I need to get our
Can we
location.
look around your house?
Right.
This one's odd over here. Oh. Huh. What's the oldest one you've seen, Mondo?
That's in 1883. That child was 3 days old and died.
Oh wow.
And
1883.
yep.
1829.
Which one?
Right here.
1829. Yep. Notice how this big drop off is over here.
Yeah, you know, if you didn't have LiDAR, you
Wouldn't know this is here.
wouldn't think anything of this.
No.
Like, oh, they put a little berm up there to, you know, to just for decoration. They put a little berm.
Right.
It's pretty normal.
Wow.
Do what? Yeah, this is 1799. Died 1875.
So is this part of the berm here?
You get a better visual for sure right here.
Oh yeah. You can see the moat real good over here, Mondo.
Oh yeah.
It's still not going to deter you. I mean, unless you've got your.
No, it wasn't made for that purpose, I don't think.
Nope.
Especially because you have a drop off right there anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Do what?
I don't think this is for defensive purposes.
No. No, and especially when the moats are on the inside. You know, I mean, the ones we've seen in Ohio, they're built backwards from this. It's kind of the same style, but I wonder what was the determination on whether you put the moat inside or outside. Because I don't think either side. Now the ones in Ohio, some of them we've seen had moats that were 12 feet deep. So.
That's different. Yeah, that's going to be different.
But.
And it's not even exactly circular, so we're not even necessarily looking at concentric circles.
Right. It's a mystery.
I want to know where the excavation was.
Yeah.
It's going to be over here in the woods.
Yeah, be over there.
How big? Does it show how big?
They might have just got a shovel, dug a little hole. And called
That's
it.
what it looks like. And this was the 99 one.
Yeah.
Oh, they did something in 99?
I think this was the 99, the one that we read about. But the one from 58 is a whole different ballgame.
And I read about one from 95 and one from 83.
I'm wondering if 95, like, this could be the results of 95.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe.
Since it's, yeah.
Time to write it and submit it.
I want to look at the 50s one. I want to closer at that.
Yeah, no, it shows it because here we are. We're
Yeah.
right on the.
Yeah, we're on that edge.
And it's, yep. Right up to the.
Yep.
That's where I walked. Was right over there, to that point.
So it picks up out here somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. A little farther out. It's pretty big.
Isn't it amazing you have this technology in your pocket?
Yeah, exactly that.
Action.
Okay, so we're walking back. Ariel and I are trying to set up the tripod to do a couple of interviews. And we noticed these giant tracks, and I was like, is that a cow? And then we determined it's an elk. These are elk tracks. We're in elk country. Interesting. So this is what we do when we come to these locations. We use our combined knowledge to try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And now we will recap.
Oh, hello, Ponce de Leon. Hey, do you know, was DeSoto over here where we are right now?
Oh my gosh, smart aleck.
Guess who this is? This is it. You're talking to me, Heather.
And Brent.
Hey, Brent.
And Nick.
And Nick.
And Ariel.
Ariel.
So what does it look like?
It's kind of an ugly shaped berm with a gateway in it. It's not circular. It's kind of circular, but it's a berm with a moat on the outside, and there's a gateway facing toward the northwest, which would be the solstice sunset. And we're in Mount Vernon, Missouri. There's been a few digs that took place here in the past, and they've just pulled up some field points mainly.
The reports are a little bit conflicting between the different digs. There's one that was done in 58 that has lots and lots of points and tools and all of that, but then the one that was done in the 90s, you don't have as much, and in fact the one that did the 90s
don't see the road.
discredits the archaeologist that was done in the 50s. So it's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna try to find the original from the 50s, but the guy who had it died, so now we're kind of.
So after we got LA caught up to speed on what we were doing, he gave us some information about one of his projects, but you're going to have to wait until he gets ready to release that information, so stay tuned to lamarzulli.net to see his upcoming videos.
Southwest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is called Archaeological Investigation of Southern Missouri by Lee M. Adams. So this was the first one that was done in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Adams is described as an amateur archaeologist by Thomas from SMM, the one that did the dig in September of 97.
Mm-hmm.
Says a sketch of the Spanish fort's not accurate. So right here, the one that did the 97 excavation says that the previous one was, quote, amateur. So it's discredited all of this. But this is the one that has all the information with all the tools.
Wow.
And it's not, he didn't reference it?
Lee Adams?
Yeah.
Nope.
This guy. So the one that did the 91 did not reference Lee Adams. And then said he's an amateur. Interesting.
Yep.
That's why we want it.
That's probably the truth there.
I know.
All right, so we're near Mount Vernon, Missouri, and I'm with my friend Nick Daigle here, and he contacted us about this site, and we decided to come take a look at it. And we are not real sure about what's going on here. It is an earthwork, and it's in the middle of a cemetery. And from what we've read and what we've gathered so far, there's not many people in the past that really know who built this or when it was built. So Nick, tell them a little bit about how you found me and how you found this place.
Well, it started because I started reading through Genesis, and I read Genesis 6, and so I talked about the Nephilim, and I wanted to get more of an idea of what that entailed. So I've started doing some research with watching videos from L.A. Marzulli, Timothy Alberino, Tom Harn, just people that are in that field. I'm a full-time nurse at one of the local hospice agencies around here, and I have a family and 3 kids, and I don't really have time to be able to go see some of these megalithic structures. So
Right.
I kind of just wondered, is there anything close by
going on locally here?
going on locally that
Yeah.
I could go look at? Well, I had went on YouTube one day and I saw one of your videos, and I just decided. Then I found this place because I went to the library website and I saw that there was an earthwork out here that was claimed that it was built by the Fort Ancient Indians. So when I seen that and I came out here, took a picture of it, and I saw that it made a serpent-like
Progression across the land.
yeah,
there.
yeah. So that's when I reached out to you,
Right.
sent you the message on Facebook to see if you'd be able to come out here and do some research and kind of get more down to the bottom of it.
So we did come out here. I'm with Mondo Gonzales today. I'm with Heather Coons, who is also a archaeologist here in the state of Missouri. And we've walked around on the premises and we've looked at the berm. We found the location, and I'll show a map on the screen, but we found the location where the gap is in this berm, which is interesting enough facing towards the northeast, or the northwest,
Yes.
which would be the solstice setting of the sun, which would indicate that this is likely a ritual site and it has something to do with sun worship. So we're going to look around a little bit more. We're going to fly the drone, and we appreciate Nick bringing this to our attention and bringing us out here, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of what's going on at this place.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All right, so once again, we're at this site near Mount Vernon, Missouri. It's a earthwork. There's a berm and a moat that we've discovered here. I think the most interesting thing here is a gap in the moat, which would be a gateway. And we've done a lot of research. We kind of crammed over the weekend, reading everything we could read, and Heather brought us to the courthouse where we dug up some more information. And we've kind of determined that gap would probably be facing towards the northwest, which would be what, Mondo?
Like a solstice, summer solstice.
Sunset?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that lends itself to the fact that this could probably be a ritual site, and it probably had something to do with sun worship. And then we've had some conflicting reports. Heather, you found an amateur report versus a mainstream archaeologist report. And so what kind of differences did you see?
Yeah, talk about the time frames too of how this happened.
Okay.
So apparently, there's been multiple excavations here, but the one from, it looks like maybe 1958, it was done by
Lee Adams.
Lee Adams, yeah. So in that report, there's lots of tools, it's pretty detailed. But then as you go to 98, you find another report, and it's written on the cover of the copies that Adams was actually an amateur archaeologist. So
A little bit dismissive.
a little bit dismissive. So yeah, we're going to try to find those original reports and see what we can find from there.
And so there's been talks of, this place is called the Old Spanish Fort. So there's talk of Spaniards being here possibly. There's even some articles that we've read that mention Hernando de Soto. And there's different articles talking about earlier cultures versus later cultures. And we just really don't know what's going on here, and neither do most of the people that have written about this site. But Nick found us on YouTube, and he brought us out to this place. We thank him for that. We're going to fly the drone around a little bit before we leave and get some aerial footage of this place. And this is the type of things that we do as amateur archaeologists and archaeologists in the field, is we look for pieces of the puzzle, try to put it together, and see if we can come up with what was going on here. Mondo, before we leave, say something about this gateway. We've seen this in other places, and so even in your background in Middle Eastern archaeology, you find ramps and different gateways like that over there.
Yeah, I think the thing that has been fascinating for us as we've done several things now in different parts, Ohio and Arkansas, Oklahoma, even Missouri here, that you find the mound builders were, like the Octagon Mound and others, they very much were inclined to guiding things towards the heavens.
Right.
As much as
solar and lunar,
especially at the Octagon Mound, it being on the 18.5-year lunar cycle.
Right.
So coming here, it's smart to look for, like, oh, look at that orientation. Were they seeking to do something like that? So it kind of shows a continuity of culture, which, again, some of the radiocarbon dating that they had here, according to the one report, was roughly between 1300 and 1700 AD,
right,
which doesn't go back very far. The other mounds are far older, but they also, whenever you come later onto a site, you're going to have those that have adopted what was there prior. So usually they'll build on top of it, or they'll use pre-existing stonework, and then that particular culture, who maybe will have, let's say of their 500, like the Inca as an example. The Inca are around, and everyone's like, oh wow, look at all their building that they did, the older Cyclopean architecture, and then people just say, oh, there must be Inca. No, they adopted it, but yet they're there for so long and they've used it that it becomes part of their own identity based on the typical chronological of the archaeology. So coming here, it allows us to, it's pretty difficult because of the trees and stuff, but that's where the LiDAR comes in, and so we got to see that with your work on the LiDAR, which really was helpful, and going over there and trying to just match it up with, again, archaeoastronomy.
All right. Any last words?
I'm just thinking what you said about, so we still do it today with tradition. Even if grandma did this or great grandma or whatever, we still do those type of things. They're handed down through the generations. So if we look at it from, a modern day common sense standpoint, what was going on here. And you can even see people would live here then because of all the waterways, just everything.
Why start new if you don't need to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Work harder.
Build on, build on, build. Yep.
All right. Well, Heather, it was good meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
And again, met you in Florida to begin with. Mondo, it's always good to be with you.
Always good.
And we thank you guys for coming out, and we want to say special thanks to Nick for bringing us out here, and I think it's been a good day.
What about the camera person?
Oh, yeah.
And
Ariel.
we can't forget our camera person, Ariel Privitt.
Thank you.
For those of y'all who don't know who I am, hi, I'm Ariel Privitt. I am Brent's niece, and I am here to video everything. I'm like the camera girl for the day. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Brent Hite Outdoors.